Thanks for joining us on Backwoods Pursuit. Today I'm going to show you how to properly fletch an arrow. I'm going to be using the Goat Tuff GT Arrow Fletcher. It's a real easy process you can take care of right here in your garage, and in the long term it can save you some money over having to run to the bow shop to have them fletch your arrows for you. So let's go and take a look at that, and I'll show you how to take care of it right here at home. If you like our content, we sure would appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and follow us along on Facebook and Instagram as well. Check us out on our website, backwoodspursuit.com. And I'm also going to put links down in the description to the Goat Tuff Arrow Fletcher, as well as any other products I use here in this video. Let's go get started. So these are the pieces that come with the GT Arrow Fletcher. You have your primary, your main base right here, and then each of these pieces right here are what you use for different size vanes depending on what length you like. So this is one for your 2-inch, and these are your 4-inch vanes. They do come in different helicals or degrees, so you can use this one being a straight helical, that being your, I believe that's a right helical, and then the two smaller ones are also a right helical. So you have those options there. Alright, so there's different tools you can use to strip vanes off of the arrows. You can buy some, there's several. I think a G5 makes a nice arrow vane stripper. That's not what I have. In this case I've just got a razor blade with some cutouts for the arrow. So this works pretty well, and they're really cheap. But the ones made by G5, or I'll put a link to that in the description here, those are nicer, but these work just fine. So in some cases you'll have a loose vane like this, so you can just rip it off. And in some cases like this other one, it's not very loose, so I'm going to use a razor blade here and just strip that off and take that off. So after that I'm going to use this to kind of run this along and scrape some of this glue to make sure I've got a nice clean surface to put the new vanes on. Alright, so I've got most of the glue scraped off of the shaft now. So I'm going to use acetone here to clean the rest of any remaining parts of the glue or dust or anything else that is going to prevent the new fletchings from sticking. So just take a little bit of that, rub that off, and you'll see you got a nice clean new surface that you can attach those new fletchings to. Okay, so I've got the fletching in the little 2-inch vane holder, and as you can see, there's these little grooves here that allow you to adjust how far from the nock you want to set that fletching. So for my setup, I've gone on the second notch. So the next step, once you've got the vane in place and you've got your vane holder clicked into this particular unit, then you want to grab your glue. I've been using the AAE Max glue. It has worked really well for me. It dries fast and does a good job. There's a lot of other good ones out there as well. Blazer Bond, the Goat Tuff stuff is really good as well, but this works really well for me. And during this process I'm making sure that I don't touch the newly cleaned arrow shaft. I want to make sure I don't get any grease from your hands or any other dust on there, to give yourself a really good surface for the new vane to attach to. So with that in place, I'm going to go ahead and put just a really thin bead here on the new vane. You don't want to get too much, because then it's going to come out on either end, and it's going to make kind of for a messy fletching job. So put just a little bit on there, and then you're going to insert this piece right here into this little hole that is designed to guide the arrow to a consistent fletch every time. So then you'll go ahead and push this straight down and just hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. Alright, so once that is dry, you can just basically let that up, and the vane comes out of the little slot there. So it's really slick. You just want to make sure you got a good attachment on there. And I've got a little bit extra, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and just dab that little bit of extra glue off of there, just because I don't like having extra glue hanging off there, but it's not a big deal if you get a little bit on there. So at this point, with this, I have found with this particular fletching unit, and a lot of them out there, it's good to go ahead and clean any glue off of there in between. One thing I can mention here, these little clips are designed actually to go like this and hold the arrow in place. like that and like that, so you don't have to actually hold it. You can do that and it works okay, but I've found just for sake of speed and whatnot, you don't really need to use them unless you want to. Alright, so we got the other 3 done. We just put the glue down on this last one here. Let it set for, again, the 15 or so seconds. Pull that up. So that's about it. We got all 4 veins on there fletched. They're nice and consistent, and it does a good job of keeping that starting point consistent across all the veins that you're doing. So once you're done with that, you just pop this thing off the end and you're ready to go. Let it dry for several hours at least before you shoot it. Probably overnight is best, and then you're ready to go. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for us. I'll put a link to all these products again down in the description, so check those out if you're interested in any of those. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.